Hello everyone, and thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. This is Sabiuddin Ahmed Siddiqui, and now we are continuing with the previous lecture where we left off, that is Eclipse perspective, and now we are moving on to NetBeans perspective, and we will understand how to use NetBeans IDE. Now NetBeans is loading now. You can see the NetBeans is now being loaded. Now the NetBeans IDE is loaded. As you see that NetBeans is totally different than Eclipse. So here we will learn about finding the menus used in NetBeans, so you can keep track on both the IDEs including Eclipse and NetBeans. Well, NetBeans, as far as it is concerned, you can see this is developed by Oracle and Eclipse is developed by IBM. So both the IDEs provide you the lots of support and tools. It depends on if you download the supporting library from Oracle for NetBeans and from eclipse.org for Eclipse. So I have found both the IDEs quite well, and if you want to develop any GUI type applications, NetBeans is preferred in a way that all the tools are easily installed and you can just drag and drop the controls on the forms. Whereas Eclipse, you have to just download the window builder package, and which has to be incorporated in the Eclipse. So now here we are going to just take a look of all the menus here, as we have just understood the perspective of Eclipse. So now continuing with this, so we can see that this is the file menu. You can see this is similar to the Eclipse one. Now the options may be more or less differing from both the IDs, because the two different, you can say, approaches. One is from IBM and one is from the Oracle, and you can see that more or less all the operations are same. You can see that import, export, page setup, print, exit. And now if you take a look on edit, so you can see all the same menus which you have already recognized while understanding the Eclipse perspective. Now here you can see that all the copying and pasting methods and paste from history and something like that, you can see find, replace. The same options are available in Eclipse as well. Now you can continue with the next menu, that is view, which provides you the editors facilities. When you click on this, all editors facilities will become enabled. Now split, then you have toolbars. If you want to turn file menu on and off, you can see everything like that. So you can have these options available. Now show editor toolbars, show line numbers, show non-printable characters, show breadcrumbs, show indent guidelines, show different sidebar. For example, let's suppose if I want to include show line number, as I'm explaining you that this on line number this and so. So you can turn this feature on to provide you the line number, so that you can easily highlight the line number that you are working on, this line number or that line number. So show only editors, synchronize editors with views, view versioning labels, and then show only editor, full screen. And if you want to go with the full screen, you can control the screen by clicking on full screen, or you have to know the key combination, that is Alt plus Shift plus Enter. Now moving on to navigate, go to file, go to type, go to assemble, go to Spring Bean. Basically these are some other advanced technologies objects here. Go to source, go to declaration, inspect, and bookmark history pop up next, bookmark history pop up previous, and something like that, which is quite similar to the Eclipse perspective, and they are meaningful to you. When you come to these objects up to this level, you will understand everything clearly. Moving on to source, what it provides, basically format, the format of the document or the source, removing trailing spaces, that means which are spaces which are not necessary, then shift left, shift right, move up, move down, this is the cursor movement, move code element up, move code element down, and something like that. Code element means, that means where you are editing. Remove surrounding code, that means which the code is surrounded with, something like that, that you have written something and this is remarking and something like that, and then the code is unusable. organize imports, organize members. Let's suppose if you want to organize that in each of the file these imports should be incorporated, so you can do that. Then inspect, scan for external changes. That means, for example, if you are getting the data from external resources, something like that, let's suppose you have some other jar file, so you can just have reference from this by setting these with the external changes. Refactor basically is an agile technology, and you can see that the renaming the project, moving the project, copy the project, safely delete the project, and inspect and transform. That means if you want to transform through from one to other or previous version to the newer version, so these work there. Then run project. This is a common menu as you have done in C language or C++. So you can see the run menu over there. Run project F6, test project Alt plus F6, build project F11, clean and build project Shift plus F11. Then set project configuration. That means the properties. If you want to make the program self executing, so you will set the properties of a project through the configuration menu, and you will be adding the jar files which are required to associate with the executable files or binary code. Set main project, generate the Java document, run file, test file, compile file, check file, validate file, repeat, build, run, and stop, build and run. Then debug. That means it's obvious that debug means you have to debug the project before you run the project. Debug project, debug file, debug test file, attach debugger, finish debugging session, Shift F5, pause, continue, step over, expression, step into. That means you want to edit the module, so you will be step into next method. The same continuing with the modules. Run to cursor, apply code changes, take GUI snapshot, set current thread. That means the current thread which is you are going to operate on, stack memory locations. You are just going to make call E current, make caller current, pop topmost caller. Then new breakpoints, new watch. That means you want to add a watch, so this can be helpful here. Evaluate expression. That means if you have written some wrong expressions, you can evaluate it. Check for deadlock. If there is any condition which are not meeting the requirements, so this becomes create the deadlock. Now profile project, profile file, profile test file, attach profiler. Basically these are some additional and advanced technologies components which we are discussing here. Return profiling session, modifying profiling session, stop profiling session, reset collected results, run garbage collector, take snapshot of collected results, take heap dump, load snapshot, load IDE snapshot, load heap dump, compare snapshot, and advanced commands such as manage calibration data, view command line arguments, display internal statistics. If you come to the team, you can see that shelves changes, Git, clone, initialize repository, repository browser, Mercurial, initialize repository, clone. These are all advanced versions and techniques to deal with the project objectives. History, show history, revert history, delete it, find tasks, report tasks, and create build job. Then tools, add to palette. That means something you want to add to the palette. That means a plate where you will put all the controls. Then internationalization. This is very important in the projects where the languages are concerned. If you want to just use this, so and your program is broadcasting in some other languages, let's suppose your program is being used some other languages where let's suppose you are speaking Urdu or Hindi or something like that, or English or German or Portuguese or something like that. So internationalization is very important, and you can just create the button and the language aspects or profiles. So whenever the program runs in that country or area, it automatically changes. Then you have insert internationalized string, then internationalization wizard, then internationalization test wizard, then Java platforms, ANT variables, libraries, servers, cloud providers, templates, DTDs, and XML schemas, palette, swing AWT components, HTML, JSP code clips, and then plugins, options. And now last but not least, basically this is the window where you will set all the opening windows here: project, files, favorites, services, navigator. That means these one: project, files, services, and navigator. These are the components which will be highlighting here. That means all will be the working windows, and if you want to close any of them, you can just close them and then continue with the work. Most probably you will have the project windows open and files windows open, and sometimes, for example, if you are dealing with the databases, you need to turn on the services tab as well, and navigator, which will tell you about the or through the rest of the project, where it will be highlighting all the controls placed on the form and all the variables and something like that in the separate window, where you will come to know, for example, if you are unable to find the object or control or any method, the program, so you can see the navigator toolbar. So there everything will be kept separately. Then action items, task, output, editor, debugging, you know that debugging, variables, debug, watches, call stack, loaded classes, breakpoints, sessions, threads, sources, debugging, analyze stack, something like that. Then profiling, profiler, live result, threads. Threads, basically this is the system thread which is executed on microprocessors movement. When the microprocessors, normally they are known as the ticks of the microprocessor, and on each tick you can see that different work can be loaded or used, or you can just set the priorities on different threads, where the microprocessor states are free, or normally you can see the states of microprocessor. VM virtual memory telemetry, memory telemetry overview and profiling points. As I have told you, some objects are here very advanced. Then coming to the web browser, CSS styles, then IDE tools. If you want palette on, properties on, you can turn over here. You can even go to through the shortcut keys, Control plus Shift plus 8, Control plus Shift plus 7 for properties, and the test results, Alt plus Shift plus R, bookmarks, Java documentation, notifications, exception reporter, and terminal and processes. These are generated by a microprocessor. Now coming on to configure window, maximize, float, docking. That means you want to set the windows stayed open, so you can just make it docked. Then reset windows. That means if by mistake you have forgotten the settings of the windows and you are unable to find the tool windows or something else which was set out, and if you are not finding, so just click on set windows. It will set all the environment IDE according to your choice. Then close window, then close all documents, then close other documents if any opened with the help of third-party documents. Then document groups, new document group. For example, if you want to make some groups, you can keep the document in the group created. Then documents, Shift plus F4. Then the help, you know that it is very common. Help contents, it has provided two types of help. One is available on the hard disk content and one is the online, but normally it works for online documents and support. Then keyboard shortcuts card, and report issues, Javadoc index search, and then Javadoc reference. You can see the references of Java. More Java documentation, check for updates, and then start page, about page. You can just turn this. If this is turned off, you can just go here and click on this. This becomes on. So these are the menus and perspective of the NetBeans IDE, where you will be working, or in the future if you want to switch over to this, so you will be provided the help required on your request. So I hope you will like this, and thanks for watching. We will be continuing with the new session where we will be writing the first program on Java in Eclipse. So thanks for watching.